Right. Last time when we were here, we were under maintenance and we talked about tax, where I emphasized that the most important thing that you have to know is the issue of tax types. We also talked about common, and we talked about foreign currency, we talked about projects. We also talked about these other items. So today I want to look at maintenance general ledger. Right here, that's where you will create the general ledger accounts. So you are creating your main general ledger accounts, you are creating your sub general ledger accounts. So we have got a number of things here. We've got accounts, we've got branches, we've got departments, we've got report categories, transaction types, page permissions. So I'm going to run down through these items one by one and explaining. Then I will return to accounts because that's where we create general ledger accounts. So under accounts, I'm just going to click so that you appreciate what is there. So this is the list of our general ledger accounts or the list of our chart of accounts. Right. So you have got account number there. If you had written notes, if you had written notes about an account, we could have those notes. Then here it indicates that it's active. If you take off this tick, this account becomes inactive. In other words, you can't post transactions to that account. Then this one is the account description. Then this one is the account type. So basically, this is how your chart of accounts or the list of your general ledger accounts is structured. So if you were to create a new account, you could come here and add. We are going to come back and add accounts because this is what you're supposed to know. But before we do that, I just want to explain the other things which are under general ledger, maintenance general ledger. So we've got branches. And as I indicated last time, you can create a branch. You can create a branch by clicking on add. We are not doing branch accounting, so I'm not going to create a branch, right? Then still under general ledger, I've got departments. So if you want to link departments to, if you want to link transactions to departments, you can create the departments here. And these departments mostly have got to do with how the business is structured. If it is a commercial business, obviously it will have a human resources department, it will have a sales and marketing department, it will have a finance and accounting department. So if you want, when you're processing transactions, we are still to process transactions, you will see that. So when you're processing transactions and you want to link them to departments, you should have created the departments here. So you just say add, then you can just put a code, simple code, like in my case, SM for sales and marketing. Then I could just write the description there. Sales and marketing department. So in a commercial business, yes, you have this. And if you want to link this transaction using that, then you can do so. So the description, you can also just put it on information. It doesn't really matter. So you have got your department there. All right, let me go back to maintenance. Then the general ledger, report categories. The report categories, they come by default. When you create your Kanban file, automatically they are created. So you've got a report category code here. You've got a report category description here. Right. So for now, we're saying, because we are introducing you to Sage Evolution, you just have to appreciate that these report categories, they are created by the system by default. When you create your Kanban file, they are created and they are configured such that when you post the transactions, the transactions, when you pull reports for those transactions, they are well categorized. All right. Let me go back to maintenance, general ledger, any transaction types. Just like your report categories, the transaction types again, by default, they are created by the system when you create the Kanban file. So you've got cash payments, cash deposits, ledger journals, and cash book payments. So these are created automatically. You do not have to change anything; they are already there. We're just showing you so that you just appreciate what it is about. Then the batch permissions. Now, under batch permissions, I spoke about batch permissions when we were creating agents, users, if you remember. And I said a batch is just a window into which you capture transactions. You're going to see this. So the issue of page permissions has to do with the rights that you give to a particular user. If you remember, then we said the rights that we gave to the user that we created was to view her own pages and not to view anyone else's pages. You can give the user to view all pages or only to be limited to her or to his own pages. So here, normally we would say you don't have to, don't use this function. You don't have to change. You don't have, because here you are more like selecting an agent and trying to change the batch permissions by clicking on edit. So, or probably, let's say you had set it by the batch itself. So you could actually select, we haven't created any batch because we haven't processed any transaction. But we're saying, let's say you wanted to change by agents who are the users. You could select that, then you select the user, then you click on edit to change the batch permissions of that user. So we're saying we are not going to do that. Let's deal with the batch permissions when we create the user. We can, even if you want to edit, we can always go back and change the batch permissions via agent creation. And let's go to maintenance general ledger, then the budgets and project budgets. So here, that's how you set up your budgets. Like businesses, they sit end of year, like now, they retreat, they go for a retreat, set up budgets for next year. Now, when those budgets are set, they are prepared on Excel, so you can have them on Excel sheet. Then you come to Evolution and feed in those budgets so that when you process the actual transactions, you can pull reports which compare the budgets or the budgeted amounts against the actuals. So this window under maintenance is meant to give you a chance to set up those budgets. So basically, you just have to first of all select the currency in which you want to set the budgets in. So here you have to set the exchange rate. So this will be your exchange rate. Then you say, okay. Then you select the account that you want to set for. We do not have Zimbabwe dollar accounts. That's why I think it's not giving us an account there. Let me just remove that. So I'm going to just select accounts there and say sales account. The way I set the currency is more like the US dollar is my home currency. Then the Zimbabwe dollar and any other currency is my foreign currency. So on currency, I leave it blank. I select because I'm going to do account by account, inputting the figures. If there was a project linked to it, I could select the project here. If it was linked to this project, then I have also to select the year, right? Then I have then to click on view. Right. So when I click on view, it loads up this window and you'd find there is nothing yet because we haven't set any budget. Now, what we have to do, because it goes month by month, as you can see, 2, 3, 4, January, February, March, as you can see, if you were to look at this, we then just have to come here and feed in the figure according to the budgets or the figures which was set. So here you're not thinking, you're not like coming up with your own figures. You are simply looking at the Excel sheet and they are feeding in the figures. And once you are done, then click on save. It then puts in that. Okay. What this does is when you process the actual transactions, you will see they will be compared against the budgeted. Then you can pull out variance reports. Right. So that's your budgets and project budgets. And let's go to general ledger. Any defaults. So these are your general ledger defaults. Normally we say leave these options as they are, but you may want to force projects when you're processing transactions. If you want project accounting, if you want to force projects, then you just have to put a tick there. Even when you're processing these, you can put a tick there. That is if you want to force projects. Right. So these defaults, normally we say they are already automatically set up. So you do not necessarily need to change them for starters. So you just leave them as they are. Then, okay. So let's go back to maintenance. We just allow it to update because I clicked some items. So it's sort of updating. Now let's go back to maintenance and general ledger. Then the general ledger archive. Now the general ledger archive function works whereby we have processed for a number of years and you want to archive like previous years. Let's say probably in year 3 and you want to archive year 1 and year 4. So this function, that's where it works. So the system will obviously tell you to back up, then you have to select the year. I only have got 1 year. So if I were to click on OK, this year will be archived. In other words, I won't be able to process transactions. It's meant to just archive. Archive is more like shelving, like you're putting that in a storage room off the system. Right. Then let's go back to maintenance general ledger, then the general ledger page. General ledger page, again, what it does is it deletes, it pages off, it deletes like previous transactions. Let's say you've transacted for 7 years. Now your company file is so big and you want to page some transactions or delete some transactions, like historical transactions. This is the window where you do that. So you have to do a backup, select the year that you want to do the page, select the accounts. You can select all accounts by just selecting the first account and the last account. Then go on and do the page. All right. Then the general ledger relink. This one is just to sort of an integrity check of your general ledger, just to make sure that everything is linked up. So you just run it by clicking on start. They need to ask you, as always, it is advisable to make a backup. Why a backup? Because something may go wrong and you don't want to be stuck with garbage. So just run general ledger relink. And it does what it does. If there are problems, it will show you. If there are problems, it will complete. All right. You can see it's taking a bit of time updating balances. My Kanban file doesn't have much figures, so one would wonder why it's taking so long. So imagine if you've got a very big Kanban file, it means it may take even a bit long updating your relinking your general ledger. So some of these functions, you don't necessarily need to run them unless there is need. But we are saying even if you are to run them, first of all, do a backup. I showed you how to do a backup. Make sure you have got a backup before you proceed with any action. So we just wanted to finish backing up, running the general ledger relink. Just wanted to finish up. All right. But it indicates that it may take a bit of time. So I think we have to be patient. And allow it to finish. All right. So basically, under maintenance general ledger, these are the items. We now want to look at how to create an account, a general ledger account. That's what we want to look at. So I just wanted to finish this so that I show you how to create a general ledger account. It has taken longer than I thought. I didn't expect it to take this long. All right. I think it also has to do with the number of general ledger accounts which are so probably it's going account by account, which may take a bit of time. Let's allow it to finish. It has taken very long. It's taken very long. So when you are viewing, just skip let's skip this part, because by now it should have completed. So I don't know why it's taking forever. We're to try to close it. Let me see if I can close it. All right, I think that's fine. Let me start. I'm restarting the system altogether. I just deliberately did this because I didn't want it to keep on wasting our time. That's why I switched off. All right, so the general ledger relink, I think you may not necessarily need to be running it, because as you saw what it does now, it takes forever to complete. We mess up with your books. Unless there is need, and it's advisable probably for it to be done by a technician, a technical person, of course, after doing a backup, so that if anything goes wrong, you can always restore the backup. So I want to proceed and now show you how to create a general ledger account, because I was just running through those items so that you appreciate what they are all about. Now I want to just minimize all these other items. They are not necessary. All right, so I'm not sure this. All right, so we're back. So now we are going to create our general ledger account. So we click on account. Obviously, when we do that, we are given this, which I showed you when we started. So if you were to add a new account, you just click on it. Now, what is important is you must have defined your account. You must have defined what type of an account is it. Is it a fixed asset? Is it a current asset? Is it a current liability? Is it an equity account? So you should have defined it, right? So after that, you just have to come here and create the account. So let's say it's a bank account which I want to create. Then it's CBZ Bank Nostrum, right? Then normally we would say okay, this here is supposed to be here. Here I'm supposed to put a number. Bank accounts in Sage Evolution, they start with 8. So I could say 860, like in this case. So on account, this is the main account I'm creating. On the account tab row, you put the main account, which is a 4-digit number. Then you put in the description. Then you have to define what type of an account is it, right? This is a cash and cash equivalence account, right? These other tabs, you may just leave them as they are. There is no need for you to put anything on these tabs, right? Then here you're not supposed to, because this is a cash book, so we don't allow you can allow sales transactions if you want. You can allow purchases, but no, we don't normally allow this, right? Then for foreign currency, if this is a foreign currency account, you then have to put in the foreign currency. Then you select the kind of currency that it is. But this one is the USD, so I'm not putting in foreign currency. Municipality billing, not applicable here. Then if you are linking up with the bank, like I now want to put the bank details, CBZ, bank name, code, account number, and so on, you can also do that. But we are not going to do that. We're just going to put this, define that this is a cash and cash equivalence account. Then we say, okay. So basically, this is how you create a main account. Once we do that, you can see now we have got CBZ Nostrum. If you wanted to create CBZ Zim dollar, it means we're going to do the same process, but here we now put in a different account number. We now put in a different account number, and then the description will be CBZ ZWG. So we are defining the currency. Then we come here, we say cash and cash equivalence. Then now, because this is a foreign currency account, we are maintaining this account in foreign currency. We tick there, then we come here, we select the currency, which is ZWG. Then Of course, after that, we say, okay, the rate, we can always set the rate when we are processing. You can see now we've got CBZ Nostro for USD transactions, CBZ Bank, ZWG. So this is how you create a main account. Now, you can also create a sub account, which is a main account of a main account. Let's say you've got an account like payroll liabilities. I'll give you as an example. So under payroll liabilities, you can see them here. It's under 92. Now, if I were to create a sub account like NASA, now I could put in, look up, and then see how they are created. Already there are sub accounts under payroll liabilities 010, 020. So I'm going to create 030. Then I'm going to put in a description and say NASA. Right. So this is a sub account. Then I click on sub account. Then I select sub account of what? This one is for payroll. Right. Okay, I will type in the account number there. It's for payroll activities. So this is how you create a sub account. So a sub account is a main account of a main account. So you'd find under payroll liabilities for things like payee, for things like NASA, NEC, and the rest of them. Right. It means when you're creating the sub account, this is how you do it. So a sub account is often not Kamana main account. It's a minor account of a main account. So this is how you edit your chart of accounts or general ledger. If you wanted to change any account, you can change the description. This description can be changed. Like for your sales, if you want to say revenue, you can always double click like what I did, and you change here instead of sales under description, you can say revenue, you can say turnover. This is another way of you changing. Yeah. Then you can delete an account as long as it doesn't have transactions. If you had already posted something into that particular account, you can't delete it. So under general ledger, this is what I want you to know. Mostly, I want you to know how to create accounts because from time to time, you have to be able to be doing that. So I'm ending here. Then when we come back, we're going to look at customer creation, customer sales, and see what is there, what do we have to know, what are we supposed to create. Thank you. See you next time.